while. I've not played that song, and somebody reminded me to play it, and I thought it would be a good idea to do so now. Just stop. Please tap on the screen as your share coming in. Tap on the screen and share. Tap, tap, tap. Let's do this. 5, 7. Okay. Okay. So welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'm really grateful for you joining me this evening. Help us reach more people. Tap on the screen and share, and hopefully we can get to hear from more people. Can you hear me? Tap, tap. I hope you can hear me. Yes, I think you can. Let me just go and look at the 1 second. Just look at the file. A second. Just give me a minute, please. Just trying to get some things going. We will talk about this in a minute, but please do tap and share. Tap on the screen. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'm really grateful for your support. So we're going to talk about Macron. And don't fall for it. It's just a trick. He's just playing a game, and we don't want to fall for his game at all. It is really not acceptable what they're doing, and we cannot accept that at all. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, no. Okay. Let's just have a look. So please tap on the screen and share. Tap, tap, tap. I really do need your support. Tap on the screen. Help us with more people. Yeah, we will be talking on this topic, and I want to just hear that you can hear me properly first before I go ahead. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me? We're talking on yes, you can. You can. Greetings or welcome to Season AY, a platform where we speak truth to power. It's a pleasure having you join us. I'll have to do this thing about the song another time, I think. Let me see. So, how are you all? How are you all doing? Please tap on the screen, share the number, share the live. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. It's a pleasure having you join us. Today, we're going to talk about Macron. We may touch on South Africa. Let me just see if I can get this track up and running. There's a track I wanted you to listen to. It's a track I wrote. You can download it. It's on Spotify. You can download it and help anything that we do to help the platform was greatly appreciated. Just trying to make sure that we have the whole song in place so that you can hear it. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to try it anyway. So, no, that's it. Sorry. Okay, that's not the right one. I'll have to do it another time. I can't get it right now. I'm going to have to do it another time. So just bear with me. Bear with me. Oh, I need to take it out. Just 1 second, please. Give me 1 second. Okay, just give me 1 minute. I do apologize for that. It should. I think I've got a freeze. Keep coming. You're listening to this. Where is the greetings? Honey Bay, greetings to you. It's a pleasure. Put some Mali song on. Okay, I'll have to do that next time. I'll do that next time, Honey Bay. Yes. So whilst this is going, those of you on TikTok, I may just bear with me. It is noisy somewhat. So I'm going to stop that noise. I want to stop that noise. So I want to get on top. I think it's frozen on TikTok. So we'll be back. So here's a song that I normally, I would sing. I like singing this song by Bob Marley. goes something like this. I'm thinking you'll know it. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, cause none of it can stop all the time. And how long shall they kill our prophets, whilst we stand aside and look? Oh, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the bill. Won't you help to sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever hear, oh yeah, redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of it can stop all the time. And how long shall they kill our prophets, whilst we stand aside and look? Oh, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever hear, oh yeah, redemption song is all I ever hear, oh yeah, redemption song. So, thank you very much. I hope you like that. Just give me 1 second. I'm having a problem with the platform. Yeah, I don't know what's happened. I'm just gonna go and check it. I'll restart it. I don't know what's happened. I think it's frozen. So let me try and restart it. I'll have to restart it. I think it's gone. So I'm gonna restart on. Please, as you're coming, those of you on YouTube, don't forget, as you're joining me, give us a thumbs up. We're gonna talk about Macron. He can never ever be a Pan-Africanist. He's not, on two fronts. One is European. That's not a major reason. Two, France are looting from Africa all the time, hand over fist. So he can never be a Pan-Africanist. Saint Catherine Parish in the house. Greetings and welcome. Well, I don't know about that, but anyways, thank you. So please, as you're coming in, give us a thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Okay, well, I hope so. I hope I am. One can only do one's best. But please do me a favor. Negia, please give us a thumbs up. Everybody coming in, as you're coming in, give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. We need your support. And I'll tell you more about the support in a minute. I need your support in reaching more people. So please, the best thing you can do for me is to go ahead and subscribe to this platform, reach more people, give us a thumbs up, and we welcome super chats and gifts. Like I said, one of the things that we're doing right now is there's a lot of things that we're trying to really bring on stream to help our people on ground in Nigeria, in Africa as a whole. We need our people to know their rights in their local languages. We need to be restoring the pride in who we are as Africans. For too long, we have lost the sense of who we are because our languages, we've been conditioned to turn our backs on speaking our language with pride. And one of the things I stand for is that we need to be able to speak our language with pride. We need that support. We need everybody joining us. So to that end, one of the things I'm doing on this platform is this book here is called in Yoruba language. It is the Constitution of Nigeria in Yoruba language to help my people know their rights in their local language so they can begin to participate in their governance. So this book really talks about the Nigerian Constitution, but in Yoruba language. So for example, where it says 14.2a here, I'll say it in English. It says, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Now, What that basically means in Yoruba language is it would sound like this in Yoruba language. It would sound like ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ níjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. Now that will be understood by local people who are from Nigeria, from Yoruba land, and we need to instill the confidence back in speaking our language. Yeah. Weird habit. Oops. Weird habit. I didn't know I had. I don't know about a weird habit. Okay, so it's a question and answer. But anyway, we can do that another time. So right now we're just here to really. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Okay, so I just had to just attend to something quickly. So we're back again. Let me just check. I'm gonna go and get the live back on TikTok because I don't know what happened. It just simply went on me. It just literally went boom. Like no, I don't know what happened there. So we're gonna have to do that another a different way. But let me just quickly get this. Okay. So let's quickly get that back, what we had before. So yeah, please, we do need your support. It's a little bit, the weather's been a bit funny in the UK, For atomic, that's US, China, France, processes with, and then you have in Mac. I'm not quite sure what that is about, but please, thank you, those of you who are giving us a thumbs up, continue to do so. We really appreciate that. Let me try and I'm going to try and quickly go in and get a particular thing I wanted to bring in to discuss today about Macron, because it's very important we discuss this, and oftentimes people don't realize what has been done, and we cannot be silent anymore. We can't be silent in the face of what Macron is doing. Macron is an imperialist. He will never, ever, ever be. He will never ever be anything but an imperialist, and we need to confront that. We're calling on our South African brothers. Please, you need to do better. You got to stop this self-hate. You're self-hating on your fellow Africans in South Africa, and that is not right. We do not, we do not. You need to stop doing what the colonials are telling you to do to your people. There's still 72% of the farmland that you need in the hands of the colonials, and you should focus. South Africa should focus on. And we know Malema said that he believed that the South African government are behind those who are doing this nonsense that is going on. And I think he's right. I actually think he's right, because the police don't seem to be going to arrest the people that are doing this negative thing that we're seeing. The police seem to sort of be, just sort of. Oh, I'm back. I hope you can see me. I hope you can see me. No, I'm going to go back again. I'll try and continue if I can resume it. Will it let me resume? I wonder. It may let me resume it. Okay. Go live. Let me see if it will let me resume. It may let me resume. I don't know what happened, but it just kicked me out. But anyway, so greetings and welcome. Welcome once again. I don't know what happened. It just stopped. Everything just froze, and I don't know what happened. So those of you who are on YouTube, please do bear with us. I hope I can. I was trying to get back in there, but I can't. It's not letting me do it. So I'm doing it from scratch again. So greetings and welcome. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'm back again. I'm back. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Hope you can hear me. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me on YouTube as well? I hope you can hear me going on. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, so I hope it works. I want to make sure that you could hear me because I'm back live now. And I'm just going to do a quick half an hour. I hope it works. I hope it's doing what it needs to do. Okay, greetings and welcome. I do apologize for the sudden break. It suddenly went. So I don't know quite what happened there, but we are back nonetheless. We're back. So please tap on the screen and share, help us with more people. Okay, and we're going to try and crack on from where we left off the last time. Today's topic is about Macron, and please don't fall for the okie doke. He can never ever be he will never ever be Pan-Africanist. He is trying to borrow our clothes and sort of say that he's a Pan-Africanist. France, as we speak, they're still holding quite a number of African nations to ransom, forcing them to sign up to unfair and unjust contracts. We are here to expose that. Please tap on the screen and share. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Tap, tap, tap. Those of you on TikTok, thank you very much. And I do apologize for the sudden break in the transmission. I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm trying to make sure that you can hear me loud and clear. And that goes for you too. Those of you on YouTube as well. Thank you very much. Thank you and welcome. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. As you're coming in on YouTube, don't forget to give us a thumbs up on YouTube as you are coming in so we can reach more people. And those of you on TikTok, please hit the like button, tap and share the broadcast, tap and share the live. And the more we do that, the more we'll reach more people. We do need your support and we are very grateful. Now, we've heard that Macron says he's a Pan-Africanist. No, I laughed. I don't know if you saw the video. I just said, you're saying you're a Pan-Africanist, but your country, your nation, France has been looting, has been stealing from 15 African nations, hand over fist, taking over they're not allowed to trade with anybody else. They're taking their over 500 billion euros yearly from 15 African countries. And those countries, they cannot even have access to their own funds. I'm going to try and see if I can get that information out that I was sharing later on. So he is an imperialist. And what France is about doing is continuing the exploitation of Africa for the benefit of France. So we totally reject that. And we are asking everybody to please let us make sure we are aware of what they're doing here and expose the hypocrisy. It is, and we are calling on William Ruto and all the other 30 African leaders that went to the meeting. We must never, no longer must we allow for France to come to Africa to talk to us, because France only wants to come and take from us. France only wants to come and take from Africa. They're not interested in Africans. They're not interested in our well-being. They don't care about whether or not we have hospitals or not. They don't care about whether we have good roads. They don't care about our lives. They are only interested in what they can get out of Africa. So I'm going to let me see if I can get you this. Let me take this down for 1 second. And I'm going to do a quick search for something I wanted to show you. Pact. There is a pact that I'm going to read to you for the continuation of colonization that France has. And I want you to know exactly what they did. So tap on the screen and share. Help us reach more people. I hope you can hear me. Okay, I don't want to make it too long. Okay, hope you can hear me. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, you can hear me. So we need to expose this pact for the continuation of colonization that France has carried out on African countries. So let me just 15 African countries. So I want to just make sure I bring that up. And I want you to see it because it is very important we understand what has been done here. It is totally unfair. So when they say, oh, oh, they are actually trying to help us. They're there for Africa. They're not. So we do not want anything or hear anything from him about, oh, I'm a Pan-Africanist. That's actually a slap on our faces as Africans. We need to totally reject it. So let me just get that information out. I can't seem to access it. The pact for the continuation of colonization by France. Okay, see if I can find that nations document. I'll get that up. Yeah, I think that's what I did. So I'm just walking through to see if I can get that back up. Then you will see what I mean. It is very important. Good. I've got it. So we can now proceed to read that. So I'm going to read that to you briefly. And I want also to really join me in this. So, for example, that's one of the things. If Macron was serious, anyway, TikTok are back again. I've been suspended. TikTok keeps saying I've been suspended from gifting. That's why I'm asking you, or those of you on YouTube that on TikTok, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've not done anything wrong, but already I'm being suspended from gifting. Nobody has gifted anything yet, but already they're suspending me for gifting. So please welcome to Citizen Wire, the platform where we speak truth to power on TikTok, and of course, likewise on YouTube. To best support me, I need your help by going to my YouTube channel, those of you on TikTok, and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Help us grow the platform. It's very, very important. Now, I want to just quickly read to you why Macron and indeed France are imperialist. And I say it in that way. So the French colonization of West Africa began in the 19th century when they established a trading post along the coast. French influence continued to spread throughout, through inland, through military conquest. You see, military conquest, and they have never changed. So the influence of France spread through only one thing: military conquest, and that is all they know till to date. Till date, they've tried to take over. They try to continue to control Africa, and as we know what has happened, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have kicked them out. They don't like that. They clearly don't like that, and they want to continue to find a way to come in and oppress and suppress us in our land. And that is not acceptable at all. So we are supporting Mali. You see what they try to do in Mali. They try to destabilize Mali, and thankfully the Malians are resilient, and they've got the support of the Russian armed forces corps that is helping them, and of course the Alliance of Sahel States. They got 15,000 strong military force, so they now focus their efforts against the terror groups. And France doesn't like that. France is supporting and sponsoring the terror groups in Burkina Faso. Give me 1 second, please. I don't quite know what's going on with this today. Trying to understand what's going on. Okay. I'll try it this way again. Do it this. Maybe you'll bring it in that way. Sometimes you need to just, okay. So as you're coming in, please tap on the screen and share. Help us grow the platform. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'm really grateful for each and every one of you joining us on YouTube, likewise on TikTok. So like I was saying, the process of decolonization was gradual with negotiations agreements between France and the emerging African leaders, whereby many terms in favor of France were signed in the so-called French Colonial Pact. This is what Macron will never talk about, the French Colonial Pact, and it is still in place. And the only way that African countries are able to, I'll bring you up. Hey, yes, I'll bring you up. Yes, I'll bring you up. So I'll follow back. Okay. Accept. Yes, please. I want to hear from you as well. That's brilliant, in fact. So I'll bring you up. So what's up? Can you hear me? You there? Okay. So hello there. Yeah, I'll bring you. What would you like to say, by the way? AES True Black. Please welcome. What would you like to say? Let's hear from you. Briefly, once I go ahead. Go ahead. Let's say,
Brother, I want to speak on the pact for continuation for colonization. Before I do that, do you mind giving me about 5 minutes and you can continue to talk and I'll gather my thoughts and information?
great. Please do. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Good.
I'll remain silent.
Okay. Fantastic. You see, this is what I like. We need to be sharing information. So this is the pact for the continuation of colonization, and it is still active. It is still active, except for 3 countries right now. 3 countries have said no to it: Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. And you know what they're trying to do? They've gone to get the terror groups to come and attack Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. They are under constant attack because France does not want to let go. France has no right to lay claim to any part of Africa because they are European. They should leave Africa alone. We don't want them to be coming to oppress and suppress Africans on the African continent. So when Macron said these words, I am a Pan-Africanist, it is a slap on our face from a country that has never apologized, not once, for looting resources from 15 African countries for over 40 years, taking their money. France takes the money, any income they make in those countries. France takes it and puts it into the French stock exchange, and then the countries cannot even touch their own money. And this is why we're saying that when Macron says that he's a Pan-Africanist, it is a slap on our faces. We need to reject it totally. Now, the process of decolonization was gradual with negotiations, agreements between France and emerging African leaders, whereby many terms in favor of France were signed in the so-called French Colonial Pact. The Colonial Pact was formalized in the 1950s as these countries gained independence. The pact consisted of a number of agreements that ensured the protection of French economic political interests. French economic political interests in the region. In other words, the pact was an enhancement of the continual indirect colonization of West African countries by France. In this paper, we are going to identify the agreements that France had with its colonies, given an evaluation of its social, economic, and political impact it had on the people of West Africa. One key term of the pact was the economic control. France retained control over the economies of its former colonies. Are you listening? Including their currency, trade policies, and natural resources. Natural resources. Very important to understand that. There was a continuation of the CFA franc, a currency pegged to the French franc and controlled by the French treasury. This arrangement gave France significant control over the economies of its former colonies, as well as access to their natural resources. 13 African countries tied their Communauté Financière Africaine, CFA franc, to the French franc, giving Paris effective control over their zone's central banks and the French treasury control over their foreign reserves. Now, Adeleke Adebayo, Building Peace in West Africa, London. Lynn Rayner, Publishers, 2002, page 25. So I'm just giving you the background. So this man here, let me just make sure I bring the picture out. This man here can never, ever be a Pan-Africanist. He can never, ever be a Pan-Africanist. So I hope people are really following. As you're coming on the screen, please gift the platform you are listening to, Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'm really grateful for you joining here. France is more rich than Africa's resources than African people. Oh, really? Are they more rich? Well, no. Well, they stole. They stole. EVAC 5878. They stole. The only way France got gold in the coffers is they've been stealing the gold from African countries. Let us state the facts. The only way France has been able to people power. Thank you very much. Peace and love to you, my brother. Thank you very much. Sinovia, greetings and welcome. Yes, let me pin your message. Thank you very much. As you're coming in, everybody coming in, don't forget, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up, and hit the bell so that the notification button, so when I go live, you will see me automatically. It's very, very important. So this man here is saying he is a Pan-Africanist. And I'm stating categorically that he is an imperialist. In fact, France remains an imperial nation that is intent on exploiting and controlling Africa's resources for the benefit of France. Likewise, US. Yeah, France never built with us. Exactly. So now let me quickly go ahead now. So another agreement of the pact was the military cooperation where France maintained military bases in the former colonies and provided military training and support to the government. France signed military assistance and defense agreements with 3 West African states, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, and Upper Volta, now Burkina Faso. In 1962, Force Intranet Identification was established with 8,000 French troops deployed to military bases in Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal. France intervened militarily 8 times in the 1960s in Cameroon, Chad, and building peace in West Africa, so-called peace. We have to be very, very clear at what is going on. They are here to exploit, and we mustn't allow that to happen. So I'm just giving you the background. Another time of the pact was the political influence where France, through alliances with government and support.
No, I'm ready whenever you want.
Okay, let me just read this bit here. Come on. This was where, sorry, another time of the pact was the political influence where France, through alliances with the government and support from the leaders of its former colonies who did not oppose its interests, exerted political influence over these colonies. That's what I mean. So when we talk about, please remember that they exerted influence over the political direction of its former colonies, which means that anything, when you talk about democracy, there is nothing democratic about this. France is controlling the politics of those nations, which means that it will always be in the interest of France. A proxy, yes, well, okay, exactly. So anyway, I'll pause for a minute. Let me bring in AES True Black. What would you like to say? It's a pleasure having you join us. Go ahead.
Host, first of all, thanks for having me. Second of all, I truly appreciate what you're doing for Black people and bringing attention to this critical situation because many of us definitely need to speak about this. So I want to get that out the way. Number
Thank you.
two, things that you're talking about is very critical and very important. So I wanna chime in and help in what you're saying in more not from your mouth and not from my mouth, from what's out there. Like I use ChatGPT try to get information, but ChatGPT is censored. So I went ahead and used Cloud to go ahead and speak about the pact for continuation for colonization that the French government had subjected onto African nations. And I want you to hear what Cloud had to say.
Please,
This
please.
is So I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
Go ahead. Let's hear it. So I hope you all can hear. Go ahead.
Give me a quick second. Let me set this up.
Okay.
It gets into a very good detail.
Okay. So please, everybody, all Africans, don't fall for it. Macron and France, they are imperialists. France is an imperialist nation. Macron is an imperialist on the African continent. They are not interested in building Africa. They are only interested in taking from Africa. Yes, exactly. Evard, gold, you said uranium, gold, and diamond. That's exactly it. And we have to, yeah, ready.
Should I play it?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go right ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
Sure, the Colonial Pact is an agreement France established with 14 African countries, places like Benin, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, Mali, Senegal, Cameroon, Chad, and others. Back in the 1940s and 1950s, when these nations were transitioning to independence, France granted them formal independence on paper, but the pact kept France in control economically and politically. Essentially, while these countries became nominally independent, France maintained mechanisms to extract wealth and maintain power. The countries had to sign agreements that bound them to French interests, even after gaining their freedom, which is why it's called the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. Colonialism didn't really end, it just changed its form.
Yeah, can you speak on what?
Exactly. That's exactly. In fact, the document that I've just been.
She's going to talk more about.
Oh, okay, okay.
Go ahead and tell me more in more details on the military and economics and the consequences of African leaders who try to get out of it.
Okay, so economically, these 14 countries are forced to keep 50 to 85% of their foreign currency reserves locked in the French central bank, which means they can't use that money for their own development or emergencies. They're also required to use the CFA franc currency, which is pegged to the euro and controlled by France. So France essentially dictates their monetary policy and economic decisions. France gets exclusive rights to export their natural resources and raw materials, and it has preferential access to their markets for French goods, which keeps these African economies dependent and prevents them from developing their own industries. On the military side, France maintains permanent military bases and troops in these countries, and has the right to intervene militarily whenever it wants without needing permission. This gives France the ability to enforce compliance and protect its economic interests through force. As for leaders there's a documented pattern. When African leaders try to break free from the pact or refuse to comply, coups happen. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger all experienced military takeovers after leaders pushed back against French control. France officially denies orchestrating these, but the timing and pattern strongly suggest French involvement, or at least tacit support. Leaders who challenge the system face political isolation, economic pressure, and the very real threat of military intervention or coup d'etat.
How much money is extracted from Africa every year from these 14 nations?
Estimates vary, but most analyses suggest that France extracts somewhere around $500 billion every year from these 14 African countries through the colonial pact system. That's an enormous amount of wealth that could be going toward education, healthcare, infrastructure, and economic development in these nations. But instead, it flows to France. To put that in perspective, that's more money than many of these countries' entire annual budgets, which is why the system is so devastating to their development, and why many Africans view it as a continuation of colonialism by economic means rather than military occupation.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, host, you heard that. We know the enemy, and we know who the enemy is truly. And one thing I want to point out is recently, as you have seen, the French government were in Kenya, and Ruto had hosted them. But I want everyone listening to know that Ruto is a compromised man. Ruto is not an independent man himself, because Ruto was charged a war crime against International Criminal Court. He had an outstanding warrant for his alleged involvement in 2007 election violence in Kenya. So you can assume that the intelligence services, Western intelligence services, spared him in hopes of leveraging and pushing him to become a president one day and owning him, just like we see in Epstein and this and that. You can assume that most likely perhaps may have happened to him because, they spared him from standing trial. And the ICC is pretty much a tool, Western tool.
Exactly.
And now he's doing their work, basically. So French called him and say, set up this meeting, Africa Forward. He jumped immediately. Same goes with Ruto. Tinubu. Tinubu and Ruto are both compromised. Tinubu comes from the United States, the West, and he was accused of doing a bunch of stuff, and he went to Nigeria, became a president. He's owned. Ruto, same thing, most likely. If you want to control West Africa, you control Nigeria. If you want to control East Africa, you control Kenya. That's it. That's all you need, West and East, because South Africa is already gone. They have infiltration. They have the YTs in the parliament, and they have the AfriForum, and they have the DA. They don't need eyes and ears.
Yeah.
So South Africa is already controlled. The West, you got Tinubu. East, you got Ruto. This is a main issue of Africa, is this leaders who sell out. That's number one. Number two, the meeting that happened, Africa Forward, recently in Nairobi.
Yeah.
There was a CEO of Total Energy, a Frenchman. Y'all know about that company, multinational organization.
Yes, Total, yes.
Yeah. Their CEO was there amongst the African leaders. and he had an outburst. He had crashed out. He was yelling, screaming, acting belligerent. He was very aggressive towards. He was just loud. I don't know if you've seen that video. He's very aggressive, saying a lot of horrible things about Africa in front of the African leaders.
Wow.
That right there was a failure on us.
Yeah,
you can never imagine our businessman, our hero, a guy that I admire, Ali Dangote, going to a European country and having this type of outburst and aggression towards the European man. He will conduct himself better. But what gave this white man to go to Africa and act like that is our fault. He should have been arrested. He should have been placed in handcuffs and put away. But we didn't do that because we're somehow still on. But there's a hope. The hope is the internet. You know, we have the internet. You have people like you speaking about this and bringing light to the situation. So one day we'll free ourselves. And we have Mali, Nigeria, Burkina Faso charting the way. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me thank you so very much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for really doing a deep dive. That gave us a quick insight into exactly the depths of the control that the colonials, and when I say colonials, specifically France, has on several 14, 15 African countries, and even as we speak. And even to hear that even now,
imagine that?
it is billion. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And that is why, yes, by force. And this is one of the reasons why we cannot be silent. We can't be silent about this because it is impacting. Guess what? Those of us who are even in Europe or who are in America or who are in the overseas, we are being impacted by what is being done by France. Because you see, what happens to countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Senegal, all those countries, it impacts the rest of Africa. Likewise, what happens to Nigeria will affect the rest of Africa. And by inference, the populations will be affected. The policies that these colonials pursue on the African continent has actually hampered our development on that continent. I mean, look at one of the things that they even control the democracy. They tell us to believe in democracy, but right here in this document I just read now, it says here, another term of the pact was a political influence where France, through alliances with the government and support from leaders of its former colonies who did not oppose its interests, i.e., William Ruto, and I have to say Tinubu as well. Like I can't argue against it. Extended exerted political influence over these colonies. This was to ensure that France could maintain control over the political direction of its former colonies. The presence of French troops and military intervention in the former colonies perpetuated the dependency on France for security and stability. And as former colonies were unable to defend themselves against external threats without French assistance. This is one of the things that Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger did very well. The first thing they did was to make sure that they got a proper backup. And I have to say salute to Putin and to China. Because that's the first. If you are going to defend yourself, you're going to need allies. And they got the right kind of allies. Nilet, greetings. Greetings to you. Yeah, he was never independent. So they got the right kind of ally in place that was able to give them the right support in terms of militarily to be able to forcefully, dislodge France out of, of those areas. And even, did you know that the largest military base was in Niger? And because of the new agreement between Niger and Russia and I think China, they were able to dislodge the Americans from that base. Americans were thinking, yes, they were going to be there and they would continue and extend. So now they're now pivoting to Nigeria. This is what is happening. We need to be very, very aware and awake to what is going on. So please, anybody that is hearing when they say, do not go around saying, oh, Macron or France likes Africa. No, they are there for our resources. It's in black and white. And that's why I'm bringing the documentation to back up what I'm saying. I'm not just coming here to tell you stories. I'm here to actually bring clear, critical information for us to think about and to disseminate in our communities. Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, bro. Everything you're saying is true, bro. Like my voice coming back to me, by the way. I don't know what's going on.
1 minute. It's here you go.
Yeah, as I was saying, everything you're saying is true. You know, what they're doing to this 14 nations are not just central to this 14 nations. It really has a trickle effect on other African countries as well, because Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Ivory Coast, all these countries do share a border with Ghana and Nigeria and all of them, and they're the same people. So the refugee influx and the suffering of the people, all of it is affecting all of us. And the Pact for Continuation for Colonization also says that the French government has the right not only to extract resources, but to also extract manpower should a war break out between France and other nations to defend the interest of France. That's what it says. So imagine if Russia and France go to WAR, tomorrow you will see Ivory Coast soldiers there. You will see Benin soldiers there. You will see Togo soldiers there. You will see Senegalese soldiers there defending this nation that's parasite to them. That's the part of the agreement, you know. And then you mentioned about Russia and China helping. They are helping so much to the point where we can taste freedom going forward. You know, Russia and China had never, yeah, yeah, because you need allies, you need security, you need protection, you need technology, and Russia and China are willing to give it to you. Look what they're doing for Mali right now. They're giving them air power, they're giving them drones, they're giving them intelligence, they're giving them all that. And against who? Against T group that's sponsored and supported by this people who we're speaking about. You know, and instead of calling them for what they are, T groups, in the eyes of the French, they're an ally. They call them, even the verbiage, even the wording they use, they call them rebels. They don't call them T groups. They call them rebels, but they're actually T groups. You know, they were listed as T groups by them for a while, and they did a negotiation between the T groups, the Tuareg, and the other ones that I forgot their name, J and something. Janim. Yeah, Janim. Yeah, they went there and made a negotiation between the two of them so they can come together to go ahead and destabilize Mali. See, they're using them. They were actually rivals before, these two groups. But because the French were strategic, they approached them, made a deal between them, negotiated, brought them together to the table so they can agree for the destruction of Mali. Because they enjoy sucking our blood forever. So Russia and China are helping us right now. So, you know, these people are parasites, and they don't stop until we stand up to them. And I think the time is up now that we're standing up to them. We need the success of Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, because they're paving the way for others to also follow suit.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. AES True Black African. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for your contribution to this discussion. It is very apt. This is what this platform is for. I welcome others to come in and chip in. And I'd like to hear different perspectives. You know, from all, of course, in African perspective, your view of how you see this going forward, because we need all our voices coming together to actually make sure that we push our agenda. We have to be unashamedly bold about our African agenda, that we want a better Africa for Africans, and be totally unapologetic about that, because for so long Africa has been pinned down by these colonials on our soil. And for them to be coming up and saying, oh, I'm a pan-Africanist, is a slap on our faces. I mean, I looked at that statement, and I was actually, I laughed at him, and I said, oh, for 15 years, 15 countries, you're taking 500 billion euros a year, and you're saying you're a pan-Africanist. They've not once apologized. Verna May, greetings. Oh, let me bring you in straight away. I'll bring in Vanna May. They've not once apologized for the atrocities they've carried out on so many African countries. They've unalived so many African leaders that have rebelled and tried to stand up against them. Greetings, Queen Vanna May. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Love you. Yes, it's so powerful.
Thank you.
I'm trying to eat and share. So I'll listen more, but you're right on point as always.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be in touch. Okay, carry on. I'll let you enjoy the meal and I'll carry on. Thank you so much. Okay.
Back.
Okay. Okay. Now, so thank you very much. And of you, thank you for the gifts as well. Please, everybody, as you're coming in, gift the platform. And we really do need your support. Everything you can do to gift us, and if super chat as well, if you can do that, that'll be great. It is very, very important. Very, very important that we carry on with the work. What I will do later on is I'm probably going to spend maybe half an hour or so, but I'll see how this goes for a bit. I may have to go and come back, but I wanted to just really touch on this issue. Let me quickly play a video for you so that you can see what we're talking about. Oh, thank you very much. Also, Black Dignity. Thank you so much. I appreciate that reply. Thanks. So let me, everybody, as you're coming in, do give the platform, help us reach more people. And don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. It's very, very important. We need your support. We need that support and help us grow the platform to reach more people. 1 minute, 1 second. Give me 1 sec. I'm just going to just write 1 minute. Okay, so that's done. Okay, now, so I really want us to continue. We have to continue on this quest. We need to make sure that we tell our people about exactly what is being done against in Africa. We can no longer accept for Africa to be oppressed in our own land. It has gone on for so long. We've now been conditioned to accept injustice as a way, as part of our lives. Injustice against us on our own land. I mean, look at what is happening in South Africa. South Africans are they've so gotten used to facing injustice that they've now turned against their own people on the African continent. When in fact, what they should be doing is taking back every piece of the land that is still in the hands of the colonials still today. 72% of the land in South Africa. Bless up, Pauran. Thank you. Greetings. Yeah. So 70% of the land in South Africa is still in the hands of the colonials. And the people, instead of the people being bold enough to go and take that back from them, what do? They turn on fellow Africans. And the government of South Africa have a hand in doing this because they're trying to win elections by causing divide and rule, like somebody has said it here. It is time that as Africans that we really wake up and understand that we cannot let this carry on. Let me play that section of video. I want you to hear what he's saying because it is shocking. It is, listen, just listen to him. I tell you, be ready for you to, please be ready. You will be very upset. But the reason I'm doing this, I want us to actually challenge everything that they're doing and let this be something that we can go into our communities to talk about this among ourselves, about the steps we need to take as members of the African community, as Africans, to make sure that we do not allow colonials to have a foothold on our continent. Listen to what he's saying here. It's sickening.
A safe haven, and this is
1 minute. Let me just listen. Let's hear. So nonsense. I don't want to hear that. So
Francophone Africa is precisely a safe haven, and this is what I said in Ouagadougou's speech in November 2017. So by being there or holding this Africa Forward Summit after the one in Montpellier, which was already an innovation in 2021, there is no desire to hide or anything like that. There is simply the desire that Africa is a whole. We are true Pan-Africanists.
Did you hear that? A true Pan-Africanist. Oh yeah, you're so true to it. You're stealing 15 billion euros, 500 billion euros a year from 15 African countries. Pan-African is my foot.
As a continent, and that this continent has a lot to build proud. It is the youngest in the world. It therefore has an extraordinary demographic dividend. It is the one with the highest growth in the world. Last year, it achieved growth slightly higher than that of Southeast Asia. And so we need to look at it completely differently. And indeed, it is a continent that I no longer want France to view as a safe haven, where business leaders would somehow have all the rights or all the contracts guaranteed to them. Because it was French-speaking Africa was sometimes considered that.
You notice he's not said that we forced, he hasn't admitted that we actually forced them to sign contracts, unfair contracts. He just said, we can no longer do business the same way. He's trying to use clever language to get away from acknowledging the wrong done by France and many of the colonials. They're lily-livered. They never admit to what they do, and we need to confront them as Africans. This is why we need programs like this to awaken ourselves, to remind ourselves exactly the kind of damage they've done to the African continent.
France provided a form of guaranteed insurance no matter what happened by being there to make or unmake governments.
Can you see what they do? He's saying it's there to guarantee what? Oppression, suppression? What load of BS this man is saying? You know, but we need to hear it so that we can let this motivate us to take action against the likes of these people. We do not want them on the African continent. They don't deserve to be on the African continent. By their actions, just by their actions alone, they don't deserve to have any contract on the African continent, and that is the plain fact. We see they've not approved my. They keep. Please, I said, yeah, go ahead.
Since 2017, that era is over. First of all, because well before 2017, our companies had started to lose market share in French-speaking Africa. We didn't comment much on it, but that was the case because Africa is rightly competitive, and because I believe in a balanced partnership. Over the last 10 years, our transformation has focused on a consistent message across Africa. We uphold the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states. There was a coup d'etat in Mali. You no longer want France because you no longer want to fight terrorism. Let's move on.
Can you see what he's saying there? We no longer want to fight. How dare you try to speak words into the mouth of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger? The terror that they're confronting were the ones instigated by France. Can you see the way we need to challenge everything that is being said here? We need to confront it head on. And that is why programs like this is important. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Brother, sometimes our journalists, like some of the questions, some of the things he was saying were easily challengeable. You know, like one time I've heard him say things like, the new colonizer of 21st century, referencing Russia. You know, like the reporter could have pushed back and said, Russia has never colonized Africa. Russia has never unalived or accused of assassinating an African leader. You know, those are the things. Our reporters are not equipped, and it's a fault of our leaders. When you're dealing with a foreign leader that comes to your country, a lot of times you will have your media trained ahead of time, ready to question and ask critical questions related to national security, related to economics, related to development. But unfortunately, our leaders are not doing that. Like Kenya or African leaders, African countries should have their own reporters trained to ask the right questions to Macron and put him on the hot seat so the whole African countries, African people can see it. And that would have been the likes of African Stream and Sovereign Media that recently, I don't know if you know Sovereign Media.
Yeah.
You know, those guys, those guys came under heavy scrutiny. They took away the African Stream, and now they're targeting Sovereign Media. Unfortunately, they don't have access to meetings like that. And if they did, they would definitely ask the right questions.
Yes.
Unfortunate.
Yes, you're right. Let me add more to that actually. Also, what I like what the Alliance of Sahel States are doing. In Alliance of Sahel States, they've kicked out 5 Mond. They've kicked them out of the AES. They've kicked them. They don't want them any of the colonial media. They are not allowed to even attend any meetings with them because they've had enough of their propaganda, and we can see it for all it is. And speaking about the media that was there, they are handpicked. The colonials, they're clever to pick up those handpicked media that will ask, that are going to kowtow and bow and be grateful for the crumbs that they get. That's why we need our social media platforms to be totally independent like this. People like yourself and myself and others who are media commentators, we and journalists, we should train and remind our journalists of why they are being a journalist. Is to speak truth to power, to establish the facts, to confront injustice. The job of the journalist is to shine a light on an injustice and to make sure that injustice is confronted. So you are very right when you say what you said now, that the journalists, they weren't asking our questions or they weren't pushing back. And we need to get our journalists on ground in Africa to begin to push back, because they're still looking at these people as, oh, they're my overlords. Oh, they are people, I have to bow to them, which is that nonsense. Vaname, did you want to say something? Let's hear from you. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, I wanted to say something. Do you hear me? I can barely hear you.
I hear you loud and clear. We hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Well, to the king that was just speaking, please. Can you see when you say that it's our leaders, it's I mean, they're the ones that's doing the acting, but it's really our fault. It's a lack of knowledge of how it's a lack of knowledge of how to stand up against a system like this that requires honesty and people not to be afraid to leave this world. Nobody's saying go out there and just let someone use you as a target. No. But with having millions of people everywhere we are, millions of people, and we're just accepting everything that they've done to us ever since they've been doing it. I mean, it's not the leader's fault. It's our lack of getting involved and making sure that our children and our grandchildren will have a future, won't have to worry about their hunger, no more just living in poverty. It really is a disgrace to the ancestors. It's a disgrace to the ancestors and women. We need to be more involved. We need to be involved and just let a group of men run in the government. We have to get involved. When I talk to young people about
you're right.
I don't like claps. But when I talk to young people, they say, well, I don't want to get involved in politics. I mean, when are we going to wake up and start saying, this is my country. It's time for us to be free. I mean, to live in this world, just taking anything, talking about it's the leaders. It's not the leaders. We don't get involved in it. Not enough of us getting involved. When something happened with like Troy and the other two countries, all Black platforms should be on that. That should be the main subject instead of sitting up there playing some stupid games. I mean, it's incredible that we have power in our hand, so much power. We don't even have to leave our home. We can do something, but we just let it, just let it go by, and blaming other people. No, it's our fault because we don't know we don't know our constitutional rights, and we just let them just keep doing. I mean, we gotta wake up. We have to wake up now because this is the time for us as a people to rise. And everything is on our side. Everything is on our side. Everything. Wait a minute, please. I'm almost finished. Everything is on our side except religion. That's why we give paper gods more interest praying and talking to them instead of what. Here are true gods now on earth.
Yeah.
Tory and the other two, they're true gods.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what you call Christ. You know, not thinking about yourself and the few people around you helping you cheat the people, but actually building. This is Christ.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with all those other religions that we have.
Yeah.
All those other things, you know, we don't have any more power. We're afraid. We just talk about other people, but the fact is, even if you look at this, excuse me for being loud. I'm American. I got a big mouth. But you know what? When I'm sitting in here and I got to write a note, let's use our fingers. Why? Everywhere we go and we're talking and we're learning about how to become, have a better world for us. I mean, no one should have to even ask for gifts or to use our fingers, you know, and show appreciation for such platforms. We got to wake up. We got to get into the now and stop talking so much about what the other people are doing bad. Start talking more about what we can do to make it better.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. You hit the nail on the head on so many areas. AES true. I think she was talking generally as well. Most of us, we really have to look at questions, and you AES, you also raise the right questions about us highlighting the areas where the fact that William Ruto, they're using people that are compromised, Tinubu and others, and that is what we have to really confront in our communities and not allow those people to actually get to positions of power. So let me quickly go to Poran. Go ahead, Poran. Greetings. What would you like to say? A few words. Welcome. Greetings, my brother. Pleasure having you. Peace. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What
I want to say is, what I want to say is to all of my fellow listeners, you know, you took a clear revolutionary act to come on Citizen A today and to listen. Let's make another revolutionary act.
Yeah.
And let's all repost.
Yeah.
Everybody click the arrow is pointing to the right at the bottom.
Yeah.
And do a repost of Citizen A's live. And let's try to get 100 consistent people in the live today. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be an excellent thing. Thank you for the repost. All right. Now, I want to echo my brother AES in regards to the presenters, the journalists. I got a bad echo going on, Bridget.
1 second. Go ahead.
Okay. So in regards to the journalists, the presenters, you know, that one of the things that all revolutionary people can really admire right now is the creativity of the Persian people in defending themselves and defending their civilization, defending their sovereignty, and doing it by unconventional means. Okay, you may not, you know, what I'm saying is when you cannot meet your opposition on the same terms, you must be unconventional. And that is exactly what they've done. So this thing with the presenters, with the journalists, right? We see how the sister from Sudan who went there to be the mouthpiece for the French and attacked Brother Traore. You see how the African continent spoke up against this sister and made this sister uncomfortable and everything. And we need to keep this pressure on this sister and any of these presenters who get up there and ask soft questions to consistent oppressors, you know, because that is a strategy that we're not using.
Yeah.
The echo is back, brother.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So in the case of Ruto, absolutely despicable. And Ruto is no more a Pan-Africanist than Macron is. You know, Ruto and Macron are like gremlins that popped out of each other's back. You know, but they are not Pan-Africanists.
No.
For Ruto to say, thank you to Macron for coming to Africa and for resetting the African opinion, recalibrating, I think was the word he used, recalibrating the African opinion of France. How insulting is that?
Very.
How could it ever be recalibrated? We're going to recalibrate 500 years of oppression with a meeting and a talk and a pat on the back and him walking out and chastising the people. That's a recalibration? Who does that? That's a Pan-African. You know, this is absolutely ridiculous. Those steps forward are clear. Globally, you have to align with the people closest to you, where you have a sphere of influence.
Yeah.
And you have to start to invest in what is going on around you and to displace the people who are benefiting off of you and oppressing you, because their plans are global. Their plans are pan-imperialism, pan-Europeanism is a real thing. So Pan-Africanism in a positive sense has to be a real thing. You know? So big up always to my brother, Citizen A, and to everyone else. And, you know, let's keep it revolutionary.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Thank you very much, Paran. And a greeting from Vanna Sinovia from on YouTube says, hi, hey, sister. So Queen Vanna, you're very, very famous. People know you on this platform and all over. So yeah, keep that going. And thank you very much, Paran, for that. We need more positive action by ourselves. We should be unapologetic about our aims, about how we want, what we want to see for the coming generation of Africans. You see, these people know that the youngest population in the world right now is in Africa. Africa is ready. Africa is ready to take the next step. What we need to do is now, the consciousness of Africa has to be in the right place to achieve that next step of greatness, of taking control, of being in control of our own destiny, taking charge of our destiny in our own hands, and actually giving confidence to the children, to youth behind us, and say, yeah, go forth, okay, and build a great Africa for the next generation, for the coming generations, an Africa that will never, ever be under foot of any other, any colonial ever again, for perpetuity. That is what we're saying.
For you when you're done.
Yeah, go ahead.
My question to you is that I just noticed that you have over 43,000 followers on TikTok. How many followers do you have on YouTube?
I have just about 6,000. I keep saying for people to follow me. Yeah, please go ahead.
The reason why I'm asking you this is that I'm going to start following you for sure. But I think there's an opportunity here if you push forward on YouTube and we all go over to YouTube, where you can invite political scientists, the likes of, you know, Jeffrey Sachs, the likes of John Merkshire, you know, and interview them specifically Pan-African questions, Black people, the direction of Black people they're going, and the CFA Franks, and what it means. How can Africa survive in this age where we see the global shift and how things are working? And there was a brother from Kenya recently that had the opportunity to interview political scientist professor. His name is Robert Pepe, I believe.
Yeah.
And this professor, he's not only a professor of political science, but he's also a military expert. He gets invited to Fox News and CNN and many platforms, Tucker Carlson. And
you're talking about Pepe. Are you talking about Pepe Escobar?
Is it Escobar or
yes.
Pepe Robert?
Pepe.
Professor Robert.
No, it wasn't Escobar.
Oh
no, I think his name is Robert.
okay.
Professor Robert Pepe.
Okay, I'll check that. I'll check the name. Okay.
If you can Google him, I just did it. His name is Robert Anthony Pepe. He's an American political scientist.
Okay.
International, and he studies national and international security affairs with a focus on air power, political violence, and social media propaganda. So he's he's renowned, very well decorated man. And this Kenyan brother managed to get him to come to his YouTube and interview him about Pan-Africanism and the direction of Africa itself. And this professor says Africa is going to be recolonized. And he was given his reasoning and why Africa would be recolonized. And his analysis was on point. He mentioned the military bases. He mentioned how Trump is now using force and no more negotiating with dictators. You know, the old way of doing things are over, where puppet African leaders or corrupt leaders around the world would be given few millions of dollars in hopes of extracting billions of dollars from that specific country. Trump and the new world order, they're not playing that anymore. They're not going to negotiate with dictators. It's like either my way or the highway. We're not doing that anymore. So the professor was referencing that, and the brother from Kenya couldn't take it. He got emotional and say to the professor, give me something good. Give me something good. So tell me something good to say. And he completely shifted the interview. And the professor, I could see the professors getting disgusted because this man couldn't handle the rawness of the professor and how unfiltered and direct the professor was. And the professor, I'll send you the video. The professor was saying like, I gotta go now. I gotta go. You can see the body language. He was not interested because the brother was not asking very strong, thought-provoking questions like the CFA Franks and what the French is doing to African nations and what it means for Africa to unite and how even the artificial borders that exist today and all these things that how many African leaders are compromised and you know the Epstein file and how many of them could possibly be on there and you know like very thought-provoking questions that would need to be asked for a professor like him at that level was not asked. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is if that man can retain and get a professor like that to come to his YouTube channel, you could also do the same and ask the right questions. And if there's any way we could all help you get there and we can brainstorm, because I've done some research, you know, Googling and here and there, and it says like renowned professors like Jeffrey Sachs and John Merkshire and this professor Robert Pepe, some of them may have a guest fee where they charge you some fee, but some of them don't care. They will just come if they see that you have a large platform and they can have their message be heard around the world. So there's the possibility they can come to you. They can come to your channel. So I think you should consider that, bro. And we would help. I would help. We would definitely help. Many of us would help to our best abilities, and we can ask the right questions. You know.
Okay.
I think you should consider that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. Very good point you raised there. And I'm open to suggestions and ideas because I think we have to look at things in the rounds. I mean, one of the things I know that TikTok is actually playing a game with my platform. It should be way more than that, but they've actually done, I don't know what it is they've done, but it doesn't matter. But please, as you're watching, everybody watching me now, go to my YouTube and subscribe so that we can get the numbers in there equally comparable to the one we have on TikTok. That way we can actually have an option of actually doing programs on YouTube, you know, to be able to bring professors like Professor Pepe that this man has mentioned, that AES True black brother of mine has mentioned. That way we can actually progress things. KBS, by the way, thank you very much. KBS, I'm trying to bring you back. I was going to bring you and hear from you, but you dropped down. I wonder if you can throw me an invite again so that I can bring you. I wanted to hear from you, but I felt that I needed to hear what my brother was saying here and actually act on it. K.BS. Let me see if I can get you in and hopefully have you join us. I wanted to hear your thoughts as well. Because I always like to hear from people. Let me see if I can get her. Please send an invite. Let me just bring her in if it's possible. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get you back in if you are still around, KBS and others. Let me see if I can bring others in. So let me just quickly, I'll play a bit more of this thing here, because I think it's important for us to look at how we can actually engage with our people on the grassroots. We need our grassroots to be involved in our governance, very much like Queen Verna said. Queen Verna said, we the people can no longer, as Africans, we can't allow the few that have been handpicked by the colonials to determine our future. Our future oftentimes is poverty-stricken, impoverished, not lacking in infrastructures, no good healthcare, no safety, no security. That's because we've let those who do not have the interest of Africa at heart pick the worst of us to rule over us for their benefit. It is really important we understand that. That is exactly what is happening, and we have to do better, as a people. We have to be watching. All of us now, it is our responsibility, because we are suffering collectively from the impoverishment that has been imposed on us. That, exactly, annually, $500 billion are extracted annually from Africa. And that is true. So when they say we're bringing 2 billion, I'm giving you 1 billion, they've taken more than enough, and they don't want to let go. We cannot allow ourselves to be recolonized. And I do hope when I do speak to the professor that AES True Black mentioned, I will be asking for concrete steps that he can suggest and propose that we take as Africans. And let me just quickly hear a bit more of what Macron says. To be honest, I get really upset when I'm hearing him, but I think we need to hear it, because we do not want them to be talking to us. They shouldn't. If they are serious about helping Africa, the first thing they should do is all of the gold that is in the French vault needs to come back to Africa, because it is all from Africa. They stole it all from Africa. All of the artifacts that they're having in the museums should be sent back to Africa. All of the heads of the people that they've taken should be sent back to Africa. Everything that they stole from Africa must be returned. Then we will know that you are a true Pan-Africanist.
How do we do that?
Well,
do we beg them, or we get it back by force?
No, we're not gonna. This is not a begging thing. One of the things that we want to do, if you want to do any trade, if you want us to trade with you, the things before, we're not doing a single trade with you. The things you stole, if it doesn't come back, forget it. That door is shut. We need to be applying pressure. It is time for us to be applying direct pressure to these people. That's what I say.
Stabilize us. Then that's when you need allies like Russia and China.
I mean, you see,
to protect you and provide you with technology.
Yeah, the ally thing, I agree with you. The ally thing has to be like a short to medium term thing that you're doing, doing in the short term. Because what you want to do is, you do not want to be relying on that long term. It has to be a short term measure. So we're talking about 2 to 5 years. And I'm very much suspect that is what Ibrahim Traore is doing, because all of the people that has been brought in to help Burkina Faso, what he's done is that many of the people who are now taking over those roles are Burkinabes. So those who are flying the drones, they are Burkinabes. Those who are building the bridges now, they are Burkinabes. Those who are building phones, they are Burkinabes. So they are, having that knowledge transfer to create a platform, whereby you can take control of yourself. You don't have to now wait or depend on somebody. So that dependency culture, he's got that balance right. And I suspect that, a friend of mine, another person, Menapoli, went to Mali, and the development that's going on, despite the attempts by the French and the Guinean and others to stabilize them, is incredible. And that is what we need. So I agree with you. We need to make sure that when we are building this, and this is something that has to be transferable to all parts of Africa, what they're doing, and I like what they're doing in AES. The AES have built something that is impenetrable. It's impregnable. Having 15,000 soldiers, for immediate response to defend all for one and one for all. That is a message that has to go cut across the whole of Africa. And that is what France and US and others are afraid of, because they know that once we are able to defend ourselves, it is game up, and we can decide what happens, who we talk to, and if we don't want to, we should speak to anybody. So it is very important those steps are taken in that way. But I very much agree with you about your reasoning and the thinking there. Solution. One of the things that I always like to bring about is solution-based ideas. One of the things I'm talking about, and you heard Vaname mention it, in the Nigerian constitution, for example, it's written in English. What I have done is written this in my own local language, Yoruba language. There are over 60 million Yoruba-speaking people in the southwestern Nigeria, possibly as much as 120 million, but because of lack of concrete census figures, we can't be precise more than saying at least 60 million. So of that 60 million, we want this information in local languages, in our farms, in our hamlets, in all of those small territories, for the people in those territories to have this information in their local language. I've translated the Constitution of Nigeria in the local language so they can be able to be actively participating in their own governance. Far too often, that has what because the colonials have come with a foreign language, that has excluded millions of Africans from being able to participate in the process of governance. And that has actually ended up meaning that they have been silenced, they've been discounted, they are no longer visible. And the government of the day is being able to be used by these colonials to exploit and to oppress and to keep a whole generation of people impoverished. We need to change that. So that's part of what I'm bringing forward to do on this platform, and I hope many people, African Revolution, Re-Evolution, thank you very much. I hope many people will join me. As my brother said, Africa True Black, please go and subscribe to me on YouTube right now. The more you can do that, and give us a thumbs up as you're watching and coming onto YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Sylvia Ridley, I want to say thank you very much to you there. Wallace Ginodju, thank you very much. On YouTube, I want to talk to there's so many people that's been on the Pebble Power, and there is somebody on the Raf Bogo, Soban, and Honeybee, everybody that's been on the platform and on YouTube, I'm really grateful. Make sure when you go on the YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up, help us with more people. So what we're really doing here is to make sure that we put in emphasis on one thing and one thing alone: Africans benefiting from African resources. That is the word that I have heard from Ibrahim Traore say. He says it is time for Africans to benefit from African resources. For too long, African resources have been used to improve the lives of millions of people outside of Africa, people who have nothing to do with Africa, and they've been benefiting directly from African resources. The time has come that we in Africa must make sure that we benefit from our resources for our coming generation as well. It is very, very important. Think critical. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're talking about the joke that when Macron said he's a Pan-Africanist, and we're sort of breaking down and dissecting the false comments and the refusal of France and the other colonials to apologize and to actually return the things they've stolen from Africa. So they can talk about Pan-Africanism all they want, but their action speaks louder than their words. And we know that it is all a falsehood. They're trying to just play a game. But let me quickly play this. I'll come back to you. Think critical briefly. 1 second. Let me just go and play this. 1 second.
As they say in good French, no offense. Unfortunately, current events show that this was probably not the best decision that imperialist made for their country.
You see, who give you the power? Who gives you the power to decide what a sovereign nation does or doesn't do? And this is what I mean. This is the condescending manner that we are welcoming. And this is what the 30 leaders that went to that conference, they should never have allowed a Frenchman who has colonized and looted from Africa to be speaking on any platform on the African continent. I, for one, I reject it totally. They have lost the right to say anything about Africa on any issue whatsoever. They do not have that right, because the actions on the African continent has been destructive to millions of Africans. Their policies, their actions, everything, their utterances has been utter disregard for us as a people, as a rightful owners of the land of Africa, and they have put themselves above us on our land. And the way he's talking in there, we are welcoming this kind of talk. And what are we telling our youths? That we are going to be accepting this? This is a psychological attack on us, for somebody to come on the African continent and to be saying this and nobody challenging him. I find it very offensive, and I challenge it at every point. And that's why I'm taking the opportunity now, when I'm doing programs like this, to talk about it, to make sure that we get comfortable in speaking our own truths and reject and push back, very much like my brother AES has said. We have to be pushing back against this kind of narrative on the African continent, because they, in the 1884 Berlin Conference, came and destroyed Africa, and we must rebuild Africa without their participation in it. We need to let them see us build a better Africa in their faces, outside of Africa, looking out, looking in as we are building it, and they cannot do anything about it. That is the step we must take. Let me listen on a bit more and just...
And here, I would like to pay tribute to the memory of our soldiers who fell in 2 great numbers for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Mali between 2013 and 2020.
Can you see again? Yet again, utter disregard. You are on an African continent, and all you can do is to try and justify the actions of the people that you sent to oppress Africans. He is ungrateful. He should be grateful that he's for all of the stuff that they've taken, but he's showing that the ingrate that he is. I'm sorry. I'm just. The fact that they are allowed to come and say this on the African continent, we need to watch what we allow to come onto the African continent, because we shouldn't be tolerating or accepting this nonsense from anybody. The leaders, the kind of leaders we need are the leaders that you see behind me. Ibrahim Traore would not stand for it. They would, I can guarantee you, that he would never. Ibrahim Traore, Asimigota General Chani, they will never allow him into AES. He will never, ever be allowed to speak, let alone, even, he won't be allowed to AES, let alone speak in such a manner, in such a disparaging manner about the people that he's come and say he wants to help. So his actions, his thoughts, what he's saying out, exposes the lie when he says he's a Pan-Africanist, because he doesn't acknowledge the harm and the damage that has been done to Africans. All he's doing is trying to apologize for everything that he's what's the word, that he's excused the actions of what he's doing by trying to justify that they were right, and then to even tell us that, oh, we are by standing up for Africa, or we are allowing terror.
It's a deflection of gaslighting.
It is indeed. I agree with you. Thank you very much. Think critical. Let me hear from you before I move on. Carry on. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hello to everyone. I always get intrigued when I see your discussion. And I want to thank I think the AS for Truth Revolution. Somebody sent me the invitation.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
This is so healthy for us to discuss these things. It's unreal what goes on our soil and what our leader actually accept, just because they don't have a way forward. And a lot of these things come from poor leadership. And most of these guys are not educated enough to understand how to make money or how to develop their country, and as a result, it depends on foreign country for aid. That's how it has been since the Pan-African idea got destroyed in 1963. And what we're left with now is, we're going to get stronger each country, and then we can get together. And if there's no way how you can do that, then you become vulnerable to to European countries where you depend on foreign aid all the time. First of all, let's look at the security deals that is being given to most of Africa. I was looking at something today, because I've been wondering how, in fact, Mali was so exposed to the point where the two major rebel groups were able to put together, and these rebel groups don't get along. For the first time, they were able to get along about 12,000.
Exactly. I spoke about that earlier. Yes.
Yeah.
Brother.
Yes.
100%.
They don't get along. For them to be able to collaborate to enter Mali,
Yeah.
Like that, as if to say Mali doesn't have security. It's unbelievable.
It was the French. French broke that deal. They broke that deal between them. Yep.
When you look at it, it's actually because of the surveillance that United States installed in Algeria last year, and they installed one in Nigeria, which is about 100 miles away from the Sahel state. And they just installed some in Ghana not too long ago. And then all of Africa, from the east, west, central Africa, I was looking at data today. Africa is surrounded by surveillance, military bases, security design. And the way you do that is kind of like, for example, Citizen Y, okay? I'm a security officer. If you want me to protect you, you're gonna have to hire me to protect you. But if I hire myself, I said, Citizen Y, I want to protect you. In fact, I pay you to protect you. That's a red flag. How can me as a security officer pay you to be your security? That's a red flag. And this is why they are doing to African countries, because you know what? They know we have weak leadership. You know we have greedy leader. They know we have leader who wants money. So they're paying them money to establish security surveillance, which make our country to be vulnerable, where they can spy and do everything all over our country and be able to see. And so some of these things are happening because of that. Ruto took advantage of that because, first of all, when you look at what's happening right now, when people talk about recolonization, we don't understand what it means. What it basically telling us is European countries are going to come back to Africa. French-speaking countries, especially France, who in the first place didn't want Africa to be to be independent by themselves. They wanted to remain a colonies during the 1960 resolution vote that said all countries should leave Africa. France was the only country that said no, they still want Africa to be under colonialism, and they are proving that over time. So for France, they are coming to raid Africa from old colonial countries, like the countries that were formerly ruled by Great Britain and Portugal. So you see Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, Angola. So this is where they are going, because those are countries that were old colonial country by Portugal and Great Britain. So they are coming back there to re-establish business with them and some of the other countries that are Anglophone, to re-colonize these people and take over the nation to replace the losses in the Francophone country. And I don't understand how Anglophone countries are falling for this. Over 300 years, okay? We might exaggerate, we say 300 years too much. Let's say from the 1960s up to this time, where is one country that France, people can show in Africa, that France has really done well for?
Good question.
Every other country like Cote d'Ivoire is developed, Senegal is developed, and the reason for that is because I didn't know it just in the last 15 years it stopped. Before 15 years ago, the government center of Cote d'Ivoire were paying tax to the French government. The same thing with Senegal. Senegal, everybody, we're paying. I think they stopped in Agbabo. They were paying tax 15 years ago. They're paying tax to the French government. So basically, that's why those countries are developed, because they were building it for themselves, for the people to rent. Had it not been for that, they would have been like the rest of the other African countries. So basically, what are you getting out of this? You wrote to. So when I see these things, Citizen and everybody else here, I say imperialism doesn't have any identity. It does not know color. It does not know country. It is the mindset. The mindset that Ruto has. Ruto thinks he's better than most African leaders. Ruto thinks he's above the law in his country. Ruto thinks he's in the same boat, in the same shoe with the West. Because he rose with them. He's imperialist. He's an imperialist. It's not because he's black. Ruto is an imperialist. And so as many African leaders who think that they are better than other African leaders, because for them, their power matters than you and myself freedom and our comfort. And their comfort is most important than our future. So they don't
Well,
really
let me
care.
say something about Ruto. Let me say something
Yes.
about Ruto quickly. You know, Ruto is compromised, right? In 2007, Ruto was on the ICC warrant list for the election violence in Kenya in 2007. So what happened was they made a deal with him to say, we'll spare you, we'll get the ICC off you back, and eventually one day you'll run for a president and you will be our asset to be a president someday. So he's an asset. He's an asset to the West because they spared him, and now he's doing their work. So I'm not really surprised with what Ruto is doing, and I'm not surprised with what Tinubu is doing because Tinubu was in the United States, and he was handpicked by the CIA to be flown back to Nigeria to secure that office. You know, now, as I was saying earlier before you came on, I was saying, in order to control Africa, you must control Nigeria and Kenya. They're both heavyweights.
Exactly. Oh, network. Okay. Yeah.
Parliaments. Some of them are YTs.
Yeah.
And you have the AfriForums and you have the DA, and that's easy. West easily controls South Africa because they have assets inside their government. But if you need assets inside the government of Nigeria, and you need assets inside the government of Kenya. So they secure those two positions, man. So it does not surprise me what's happening to Africa right now. But I think the hope that we have is the Alliance of Sahel States. That's the hope we have.
Exactly.
The French government is doing everything in their power to destabilize this region. And the brother earlier was saying, the host was saying, the condition of the Sahel states and the 14 countries in Africa that are subjected to this colonial situation by the French government is not just impacting these 14 nations, it's impacting the entire region of Africa. Nigeria shares a border with Niger. Same people, same tribes. You can find them in Nigeria, northern Nigeria. You can find them in Nigeria, in Niamey, in Niger. Same people. So it's what they're doing is literally impacting the entire continent of Africa.
Exactly.
Earlier, I played a video, audio from Cloud, and it broke down the Pact for Continuation for Colonization the French government is subjecting to African nations, and it's still active. It says $500 billion are taken from these countries. Their resources are controlled. They're subjected to deposit 80% of their reserves into the French National Bank. Right now, as we're talking, it's going on. All right. And also, one of the other things is, if the French government goes to WAR against other nations, like let's say Russia or China right now, Ivory Coast, Benin, Togo, all these countries are required their military personnel, African men, to suit up and defend the French government. It's in the continuation for the Pact for Continuation for Colonization. It's in there. It's in there. So African men is going to die for the French government. It's in the agreement. It's
and this is where
ridiculous. So
it is. Yes, yeah.
I look at it as a recolonization of Africa, Anglophone country mainly, because that's what what's his name trying to show. He went there speaking English, and I think last week we showed a video here where literally went and started doing the job of the master of ceremony. The lady that was there, she's a journalist, she's well educated.
Yeah.
She was on the stage doing her job. You could see he literally stood up and first of all he looked behind and watched the reactions of the crowd, and see what their reaction was, and then walked up the stage and took the mic from the lady.
Yeah.
He said, no. He said, no, I want to make order. Order?
Exactly. As though we're some kind of chat tone.
Yeah.
No, brother, that's our fault though. That's our fault for allowing us.
Yes, it was very bad, very condescending. And the one that pisses me off the most is to see African leaders that was sitting on their bottom, clapping for him. Show sort of supremacy.
Yeah.
It just shows to me that we are in a big mess. We actually need young generational leader to remove these guys. And the way to remove these guys is not through diplomacy. It's by force. It's by force. They're never ever gonna leave. It's by force, like Ibrahim Traoré did. It's by force for somebody to take over these countries. You know, negotiation, diplomacy, or whatsoever has all failed, and it will continue to fail if these guys are now rooted, when they seek, to show to somebody like Macron, who's calling himself, I'm a true Pan-Africanist. You're not a true Pan-Africanist. You don't even know why Pan-Africanism has started. You don't even know what it means. You are looting the country. The Pan-African framework is against those things for Africa to protect their own sovereignty, to protect their own security, to protect their own people.
That's major disrespect for him to say that.
Very disrespectful. And you stay seeing people trying to make peace for, he's trying to understand. And then you have some of those foolish young kids that don't understand, we're going to pass this history. If you don't know your history, then you will not know your identity. And if you don't know your identity, you are lost. You don't know where you're going.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Well said. Well said. Let me bring in, thank you very much. I think one of the things that is very clear from what you said, and I will reiterate that point. This talk of having negotiations with those who have impoverished us, who have colonized us, who have oppressed us, having negotiations with them on their terms it's a crazy idea. We need to follow what was done in Burkina Faso, what was done in Mali, and what was done in Niger. That is the message they understand. If we do not take concrete, direct, unambiguous, in your face steps to push out and root out, very much like Think Critical said, root out this puppet, we are going to remain impoverished and our coming generation will continue to suffer. And for the coming generation, it is worth taking this step. But Ibrahim Traoré said it is, freedom or DEATH. That's what he said, freedom or DEATH. And that is what we have to literally be looking at as Africans on the African continent, because it is better for us to be, to DEATH than to be on our knees. And many of those so-called leaders, they think that they're leaders, but they are on their knees, often under the table in their own continent, fighting for crumbs that these colonials caught on the table, on our table, on the African continent. They caught this on our table, on our African continent, and our leaders, so-called puppet leaders, are under the table fighting for crumbs. And that is not what Ibrahim Traoré agrees to. And that is why I always put him first. You will see him at all times on my platform. I put him there because it is a message, it's a reminder of where we need to go as Africans collectively. No questions. No question whatsoever. Let me go to Tayo Show. Greetings and welcome, my brother. What would you like to say? On mute, sorry. Go ahead. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, greetings.
Greetings.
What you got? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, we see the scrambling of Macron, and we understand that he's on this. I say he's on this last battery signal. When your phone is about to go off, when you're hanging onto the last battery life. But we've seen how many times the system in France collapsed in the past 12 months, and we see that he has to make something happen either way, and that is why they're trying to annex the Anglophone countries, even though because they've lost grip of some Francophone countries, which are the AES countries. But I'm gonna there's aside the bullshit is said about him being the true Pan-African. We all know that is some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
The thing that that's some bullshit, bro.
It is.
For how long the people have enslaved us, West Africans, we know. So calling yourself a Pan-African is I think it's even a slap to our face, actually.
Exactly. That's what I said. Exactly. It is.
Yeah, and the fact that the press in Africa is not pushing back on that statement is it's sad. It's very disingenuous. There's no place on African media right now that no one is highlighting that sentence in itself, because it's like they gave him a pass.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. It's like they give him a pass. That is what it looked like. But that is not what even got to me, even though I know that was a bullshit. What got to me was that when they asked him about Mali, about the AES countries, do you know Macron said that the French helped to prevent a T group caliphate from forming in Mali? And can you believe the audacity of this man? And if that is not enough, he said that the French were helping the Mali to fight the T groups for years, and they've been pushing them back. But now that the Mali told them to leave, that we can see what happened last week. You see that? You see the mind games is playing?
Yeah.
So now Macron is telling us that the reason why there was insurgency by the T groups last 2 weeks ago in Mali is because the French forces are not in Mali anymore. Like we don't know that you guys are bankrolling the T groups. Try to that on the life the Captain Major Kamara.
Yeah.
No.
It's crazy.
No, it's like they keep playing in our face. They keep playing in our face that things like we don't know what's going on. No. But my problem always comes to the fact that mainstream African media never pushes back. It's like they give him a pass.
Yeah. They should have pulled him up. They should have pulled him up on that straight away.
He's just sad, telling us that the reason why Mali experienced what they experienced 2 weeks ago is because the French troops already left Mali. I don't know.
He forgot.
Media, man. They own the media.
Exactly. They do. They do.
And the guys who are running the media are not well trained. He made a statement in one of the Kenyan stations, Macron guy, to say that the Russians are the 21st century colonizers. She should have asked him right there. How so?
I heard that too.
How when Russia had never colonized African nations, when Russia has never been accused of unaliving African leaders? Those are the critical questions that should be asked, but they don't ask because one, they're incompetent. Number two, most of those media are not Pan-African or owned by the government of African nations. If they are not doing the work of to liberate African nations.
Yeah, they're controlled. They're definitely controlled. Yeah, they're controlled.
I'm getting echo, bro. To say, like when you have a hero, not a hero, but a leader of a European country, of any Western nations that comes to Africa, you must have your media, whether they come from Nigeria or Ghana or Kenya or anywhere. You must have your media well trained, ready to ask the right questions, hard questions, that's economically related to Africa or that particular nation. And I don't think this was done. Like this media groups are just running around on their own, looking for an opportunity to take a photo with Macron. That's it. That's all they're doing. And when he pushes back on them or says things that are controversial, they don't push back because they're happy to be there.
No.
It's sad, man. And I
We-
talked
we-
about this earlier, bro. There's a professor by the name of Professor Robert Pepe.
Yes.
How about Pepe?
You know what I'm talking about, Tyre?
No, I never heard about it.
Yeah, he's Professor Robert Pepe.
Where are you from? Where's you from?
He's American. So
Okay.
let me read his profile right quick. Robert Anthony Pepe is an American political scientist who studies national and international security affairs with a focus on air power, political violence and social media propaganda and terrorism. He gets invited to Fox News, Tucker Carlson, CNN. He's similar to Jeffrey Sachs and to Victor Gao, to John Merkshire. He's in the same category as them.
Like
So
a political
this-
activist.
Yeah. Robert Pepe. I'll send you the video.
This guy,
the opportunity to interview him.
This guy here.
Hang
on. This guy here, right? This guy here. Robert Pepe.
Go to the.
Hang on.
So.
That's.
I think that's him. Yeah, right there.
Hang on. That's him, right?
And if you type on YouTube where it says, yeah.
Okay, that's him. Okay.
And you write, Africa will be recolonized. He'll pop up, and he speaks about that.
Yeah. I mean, look. Let's be clear about one thing. I don't. So I would push back. I would push back on that, because what I would say is, yes, of course, if we don't take action, and the question is, what action should we take? Because of course, if we remain the same, of course they will recolonize us, and that's the issue. So I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm one of these people that would ask questions.
That's exactly what you say. That's exactly what the professor said. That's what the professor said. If Africa don't get their shit together, they will be recolonized.
Yeah.
And he cited how the West is behaving now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we know with Macron.
And the brother who was and the brother who was interviewing him was shocked, and he didn't ask the right question. He deflected it. So
my brother,
I'm getting an echo back.
AES, one second. I'll just speak on that. I'll mute you for a second. I want to just speak on that. I think we need to understand something with us Africans. When we talk about this, I always bring this book out, and we need to be very aware that, look, this here, post-traumatic slave syndrome, it is not a joke. It is not a joke. When we have been, oftentimes a lot of people are conditioned, we've been conditioned to accept that this is our fate. And a lot of people do not have the strength in place to fight it. And so many people, we need to retrain our people. We have got our couple and greetings and welcome. We have to retrain our people to begin to, we have to begin to actually confront that, to make sure that we do not mentally, that we start challenging this thing, because before we even speak, it is a spiritual thing that would actually take place within us. When you're spiritually low, your physical actions is just going to follow. So many times, oftentimes, I've seen a lot of people who are so-called professors, African professors, when they come and speak to people who are colonials or colonial looking, they suddenly become jelly, because they've lost, they are the fountain of knowledge. So it is a lot deeper than just these people alone. In our society, they've rooted so many negative thoughts of self that we need to confront. So, but yeah, I think it's important we look at that. But I'm not saying what you're saying is not relevant. Yes, true, a black man. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it helps us to know that is what we've been through. Tayo Show, before I go on to Pan-African, what would you like to say? Let's just wrap up on that. Thank you. Go ahead.
Well, I agree with you. There's a problem with the group of us Africans that we're not black conscious enough. It's like we don't have ethnic pride. You understand me? And a lot of things that, these people, when they came.
That's it.
Yeah. When they came in contact with us, and I hate to say this, but I always say this, is it that they used the religion also to oppress and to manipulate our minds. So for some reason, some of us, regardless of of how much academic qualifications we have. Like, imagine what you just said about professors that are intellects. When they get in front of them, they become jealous. Is that mental oppression and not being black conscious? I think it's the first step in the battle. Actually, that is the first step in the battle and I land.
Get this book.
100%.
Get this book. Yeah. Thank you very much for that, Tayo Show. Thank you. Very important. And that's why I always touch on this. Just be, you may have the most qualified people. As soon as they get in front of these people, they will suddenly freeze. They start going, yes, but they're right. And the strength from within crumbles because of the programming. And this book actually breaks that, it deconstructs the programming, and you're able to stand on your own feet and actually stand and speak from an African perspective. Speak of, I speak sometimes when I'm speaking, I'll start speaking in my Yoruba language. What do you mean? How do you mean I can't talk like that? Because I'm deliberately letting you know that I'm speaking English, but I am an African, and I am not going to allow you to ride over me anyhow, because I speak my language, I speak it the way I want to speak, because that is where I'm from. So you see, it is really making sure that we understand from the core. This thing has to start from the core, from within us. So, but I'm just, so that's something we need to be aware of. Let me go to Pan Africania. Greetings and welcome to you. What would you like to say? Greetings, Pan Africania. Are you there? Okay, whilst I'm waiting for you, let me go to Alkebulan. Greetings, my sister. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's here. Okay. Alkebulan, I'll get back to you. Thank you very much. Go ahead. What would you like to say?
Like, what I want to say is that, like, the last African Force Summit that I was like, shows a couple of things, right? It shows that, like, it shows the reasons Africa is still being undermined by France or by different countries, because, like, during the summit, like, Macron talked about a lot of stuff about Mali and about Africa in general, but a lot of African leaders were there and they couldn't correct him. For example, like, he said that when the French left Mali, that resulted in Mali being in the position the way Mali is in today. And, like, none of those like, leaders there, like, took the opportunity to put him in his place.
Yeah.
For the reason you said, because they're in front of the white men and they freeze. It's like they lose their ability to think or to defend themselves against the imperialists, right? That is one thing. And, like, the Nigerians, no disrespect to my brother's Nigerian, but the guy who made a comment after the summit when they asked him about questions about the protesters who were protesting outside, and he said, "Oh, we should forget, we should move beyond the victim mentality of Africa."
Oh.
Like, that response was so ignorant to me, because, like, since the independence of a lot of African countries, they demand one thing: independence from interference from military bases in the African continent. But then their friends, they refused to let Africa go. So, like, they did not ask for nothing from from their friends. They didn't ask for all the trauma, all the damage they caused on the ancestor and during the slavery and everything like that.
Yes.
They didn't ask for nothing back. They just asked them to leave the country. The same thing Mali and Burkina Faso asked them to leave. But what they did, they were colluding with the TT group to cause a lot of chaos in those countries over there.
Yeah.
So, like, how can you ask the victims to stop being the victims if the victimizer is continuing to do the same thing?
Exactly.
So I think he should have just advocate for his brothers instead of defending the actions of the French. You know what I'm saying? And he also said that he even reinforced his idea and his support for Macron, saying that, oh, Macron wasn't born 100 years ago, which means, like, the action of Macron has nothing to do with what happened 100 years ago, which means, like, he supports his idea. I agree, Macron wasn't born 100 years ago, but Macron is following the same script that was written by the French 100 years ago.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But then, like, all of those comments and then ideas of our brothers Nigerian businessmen come from a complete ignorance of not knowing some of the events that took on the continent, right? You have a Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah.
Kwame Nkrumah was one of the biggest advocates for Pan-Africanism, right? And you also have like a Sekou Touré. You also have like a Modibo Keita. You also have like the Congolese guys.
Yes.
Decided to nationalize the national resources from being exploited. But what happened after that?
Silviano Olympio.
Yeah, what happened after that? They unalive the man. Like a lot of great leaders in Africa, if you don't know the African history and if you don't know about these great leaders, you'll be like, oh, we never had one. But we have so many. But they all keep being unalive because whenever they stood up to take the matter on their own hands to advance the nations, they get sabotaged.
Yeah.
The imperialists goes against their reputations. They give them bad names and they rate histories in a way like to teach us those leaders were the enemies of the nation. It's because of that most of them, whenever they stand in front of the imperialists, they don't think twice because the inferiority complex.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So, like, I won't take no other time. That's everything I have to say. I was so pissed off when he made that comment. Honestly, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you so much. Well said. I really like the comments you made there in terms of the condescending manner in which he spoke to us and our leaders and the Nigeria. As I'm a Nigerian, so-called, you know, my parents are. I'm Nigerian, and I find that offensive when they are apologizing on behalf of Macron. And Macron is on African continent. He's coming to beg. And he's trying to make us to bow to him. We should not accept any of this. For me, no colonial should be allowed to come on African continent without apologizing. And we would dictate the terms of our trade. We do not allow anybody to come and tell us what to do on African continent. We don't go to Europe telling them what to do. So why should they tell us what we should do on African continent? That's my take on it. And I stand on that 1000%. You know, I don't, no questions at all. Thank you very much for that. Let me quickly.
Let me add into what he just said.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll go to Akabela afterwards.
I just want a Pan-African to understand here that those guys are not ignorant and they know about African history very well. They have, I don't know if they have an imperialistic mindset. It is the mindset. They are not ignorant. They know everything that goes on. They even know the history more than you and myself. They know it. But they have an imperialistic mindset. That is how they make their money. That is how they are invited to the table to sit with the devil, because they feel like, and then those guys look at them to be at a different level. Oh, these guys are different kind of black people. So that's how they make their money. So they roll with them on the same table. They eat at the same dinner table. So that's how they make their money. And so the more they align with those guys' idea, the more they praise them, the better business it is for them, because they look at them to be the elites.
Let me just say something. I want you, for those leaders, I agree with you that that's their thinking, think critical. But look at Mobutu Seseko. When he was used as a man to take over from Patrice Lumumba and everything else, when it came to the time when he needed help for his health, guess what happened to him? He was dumped, and look at these palaces, the palace he built in Congo. Look at all of that. It's a message to all of those African leaders who think that they are the same as these people. They are not, they abandoned them, exactly. They would make you pretend that you are the same with them. But they never, ever, when it comes to it, you will see their hand in, they will turn away when you need them the most, because they will remember that you are an African. That is when you will know that you've been played. And by that time, it's too late. By the time Mobutu Seseko realized he was being played, it was too late. They'd used him and they dumped him. And that is what we need to be afraid of. Taylor in Liberia, Taylor was used by America, and then they dumped him. So this is what they have to understand. Let me quickly go to Akibulan. Thank you very much, my sister, for joining. Let's say, how are you doing?
Greetings.
Good evening.
Greetings. Nice to see you, and greetings to the kings. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Africa United. The concern I have is about we are losing a little bit in sense like the youth they are getting lost. There is a mental slavery, a new, well known before in the slave and during the slavery before the whitey, the female one taking over our man, yes. And that makes me sad because it's happening again with our youth because they are impoverished, from the Western, obviously. Our youth now, they don't want to be poor at all, and they don't want to have struggle at all. So we are losing a lot of that. The whole social media is full of that now. Whitey woman taking over our young boys and girls too. So, we are talking in here, yes, we're kicking this and that, but who's gonna take over? It's not the youth. So we have to really take a look in that one big time, seriously, because it's happening every day, and yes, they want that little money, but they are losing it because they don't like themselves, how they stand. They don't like themselves. There is a mental slavery and a old one, but renewed. So they are using it again.
Very important point you raised there. And I think, one of the things is that it is very, very important that our youths, again, that's why I keep saying it, we have to build our, from a spiritual level inside. We got to make sure that we get the strength of who we are as people back in there. Because if not, they'll be following up fads and ideas and suggestions from others who have bad intentions. So we need to address that.
In that, so we have to teach awareness for the youth, really, because it's them, really. We're talking about it, we tackle it and everything, but in the end, it's them. They have to take over all this.
It's true, and they have to have the right mindset. I don't know if you saw me. This is why I keep saying to people, this book here, post-traumatic slave syndrome, it is so important. It is so good because it talks about the kind of things that people go through in the mind. And when you're weak mentally, you will fall for anything. But when you're mentally and spiritually strong, you can withstand anything. And that is what we have to really do in our communities, because a lot of people don't understand when you're saying what you're saying now. They don't understand the impact in the society. That means that there's another way for domination.
That's another fight, practically. It's not about Trump or this guy in here. No. It's not about that. This is ground floor practically fighting, and that's spiritual fight. It is a spiritual fighting.
Yes.
Really, if you open your eyes. So yes. we have to really aim for the youth, because the youth, even they ask for help. But the help they have in is religion, and the religion is slapping them out.
And the religion pulls them back into this thing they want to come out of again. Exactly. It's a vicious cycle.
If I can add if I can add more to that.
Yes, please.
Okay, so what the sister says is definitely correct, right? Africa is in so much danger. We don't even know it. Like, the continent has been attacked from different angles, right? Like what the sister said, the youth are being attacked through homosexuality. And also, like, they have been attacked through vaccines from infants, and also, like, we have been attacked through division of the countries. For example, right now, one of the main goals of the Tuareg group in Mali, they are trying to divide the north of Mali and the south of Mali.
Yeah.
And also, like, Somalia is being divided also. There's a lot of things going on. So like they have so much planned the way they can take control of Africa. But like, if we don't get ahead of the time to educate the youth, to mentally prepare them, to elevate the spirituality level, like you said, we're gonna lose the fight.
Yeah.
Because, like, the game book, because like the strategy was written by them and for like from 100 years ago, and every single leader from the Western country, they follow the same script, and then they make sure they enforce it.
Yeah.
So that is what I have to add to what the sister said.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Thank you.
You know, my brother, I know you are Nigerian, and really I'm concerned, seriously. You know, I have big concern. Every time I stream, I talk to my youth in that way, really. Stop it, stop it, stop it. You know, it's like, but you know, you cannot get through it 100%. Nigeria is in danger.
Yes.
In danger. The only things, you know, the name of Nigeria is in every whitey man mouth, you know, and this is about the youth or whatever. Elder woman, white woman, they crying for children practically, and that's not. I mean, it's a sickness. They understand, and the children there, they are confused. They are getting lost completely. If Nigeria lose, the whole Africa lose.
Very, very true. Very, very true. Very, very true. I think what I will do is I will do a program with you. I'll call you and we'll set something up to try and talk about it in a way that is more looking at Africa wide. Because it is a concern that I mean, I should be looking at what the government is doing in Nigeria, my country, about that and how they are addressing that. It is a big concern. That it is not being looked at from that point of view to see, okay, you know, what control measures are we putting in place here? And that is why we need our security. That is why we have to have security, safety, and to be able to plan and decide who comes in, who doesn't come out, who doesn't come in. You know, we have to control the influx of these people coming into our communities. You know, they call themselves expats. They're not. You know, they're immigrants, and we should control what they're doing, because we need our continent to be viable for us, for our people to grow up and reproduce themselves. You know, yeah. So yeah, no, very good point you raised there, Kopalan. I suppose I could look into that. I will be looking at that in another topic and ask questions, and I'll probably bring a panel with yourself in where we can talk about this in a much more you know, in-depth manner, you know, because it is worth looking into. It's a concern. But one of the things we probably need, and this is why we're saying having our own security is important. That's why I like what they're doing in Burkina Faso. They don't allow that to happen. They're trying to fight it. I mean, he's made sure that all of this teachings and everything is kicked them all out. You know, he wants Africans to be taught by Africans. He wants Africans to wear African clothes. So the judges wear African clothes. They make their own food. All of those things, you know. Yeah, Ebony Phoenix, thank you. You're right. So yeah, it's a very important point. But because I wasn't planning for that now, I want to go back to the topic of what Emmanuel Macron represents, and it also ties in all of this. Like, it's like my brother Pan-Africania said. Everything that is being done on Africa right now is designed to make sure that Africa we're so tied up into confusion, so that they can continue to exploit and take the resources. And we have to fight that. We got to be very cognizant of that. Let me listen to a bit more to what he just said now to show you what I mean.
But we have completely rethought the security relationship. Not to avoid it, but to rebalance it. Everywhere there were foundations that were laid that were too visible and were, in a way, a remnant of a bygone era. We changed them, partnerships, just like in Gabon. We have rethought this relationship so that it can be rebuilt in a completely new way. In Benin, Ghana, and Nigeria, we are in the process of inventing a security relationship that does not exist and that is partnership-based.
No, it is not. What we are doing again, Nigeria is, I'm not quite sure why France has to be involved in our tax issues in Nigeria. I have a big concern about that. I know a lot of people won't let me say it. Nigeria is big enough. We're bigger than France. That 300 million. France has got 85, 70 million people. Why is it that we're having to go to France?
60 million, I think.
68 million. Why are we having to? France has nothing to offer us, and that is a concern. They should not have access to our tax records. They should not have access to our health records. The people should have a say. And that is why I keep advocating. Those of you supporting me, please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. We need our people to know this information in our local language so that they will understand themselves. The people who are the colonials are banking on the fact that over 200 million people will not know what the government is doing, and they can control the government. when we have the constitution and local languages, the people can participate. So important. And the fact that I'm saying what agricultural structure, what security structure, the ones that you did, just look at Burkina Faso, Mali. It wasn't until they broke free that they got proper security. France is they're selling falsehood, and we need to be challenging this. Everybody watching this, challenge it in your communities. Don't accept this false narrative. They are here to ensure, to cement division, to ensure that we are weak, to ensure that they can continue to take our resources. That is what it's about. So this is why I do this program, so that we talk about these things at a very, very at a frank level, truthfully and honestly, so that we understand what is being done. And again, the undermining, my brother mentioned it, my sister mentioned it here, whereby they're talking about how our youth are being targeted in a way mentally to weaken them, to make them look at different relationships that is not normal. It is not normal for Africa. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying the majority of the time it's about procreation and everything else. And what they're pushing on us is to make people to forget about actually, doing things that are actually going to reduce that. And of course, look at the medications. Yes, please go ahead.
Like right now, Africa's continent has the youngest population.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it has been targeted because of that.
Mm-hmm.
If you are able to deplete that younger generations over time,
yes,
Africa is going to produce the older generations.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what they're aiming for. This is not. This is the longest.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like if you force homosexuality on the continent and then put sanction on countries who refuse to accept it, what does that say to you?
That is
doing on TikTok now.
Yeah.
That's what if you see young Africans, men, especially like the country called Cote d'Ivoire, you'll be disappointed. I swear.
Really? My goodness me.
They have been funded. To make their idea look acceptable on the continent. If our young men stop having babies over time, the country going to have a lot of old population, and we are nowhere. We are nowhere to the level of fighting them anyway. But if you have the old population now, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be like Japan.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Because on the African continent, it has been the young people who has been fighting for independence since colonial time, and they know that. So in order to fight against that, they're going to bring the homosexuality mentality 50 years, 100 years from now, deplete the age limit of the country, and then take over.
They are doing it here in social media too. That one, they paying young boy to come in Europe. They're gonna get paid and everything. Seriously, this is in my eyes. You understand? It break my heart.
I'm going to have to look at that. Wow.
And they bring them in. They want to bring them. Some youth, they did talk to me in that way. They want to bring them. They tell them, yes, you can have a relation with a woman on everything, but this one, it doesn't happen in that way because they're gonna test them. They're gonna do everything. They understand. This is it. This is the extent is happening.
Yeah. No, you're right. This is sorry. Yeah, we these are the kind of things that we really have to look at. I'm probably bringing the show to an end now. By the way, many of you would have noticed TikTok they are making it difficult for people to gift my platform because they don't want me to speak. They're blocking it. They're doing, and I'm not. Every time it's like an attack. So those of you who are watching me now, please go to my YouTube channel, Citizen AY. It's on YouTube. Subscribe there. Let's get that number up so that at least it's a backup channel. So that if it comes to it, we can just do our broadcast on there all the time. I'll still be using this one, but you can see that I keep getting warnings all the time. Oh yeah, and
you cannot have. kind of talking here.
No, it's they don't want me to speak at all, so they're silencing it. But I am really grateful for everybody who's contributed and who's discussed, who's spoken about things, and the Palestinians, Koboland, Think Critical, Pan-Africania, many others. Like I said, TikTok they're definitely making it difficult for people to give the platform. You can subscribe to me on there, but it's better I would like you to subscribe to me on YouTube as I speak to you. We'll be bringing the program to a close now. I thank you all so very much for listening. Al-Kebulan, that topic, I am going to do a research. I'll get in touch with you and we'll come and talk about this because it's very important. Exactly. And that's what I'm going to try and do. Ebony Phoenix, thank you so much. Everybody, too many numerous names to mention. I'm really grateful for you joining me. I'll be back again to talk about this, but we reject. It is clear now that nobody should trust any comment from Emmanuel Macron saying that he's a Pan-Africanist. No, they are imperialist. They want to continue to see Africa oppressed and suppressed and exploited. It is up to you and me to work together to free Africa from bondage. We need to support the likes of Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, General Chiani of the Alliance of Sahel States, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. They are doing great work. We have to protect them, all of us. The future of Africa depends on the success of the Alliance of Sahel States. The future of Africa depends on the success and the deepening of the ideology of the Alliance of Sahel States. So very, very, very important for us to do this. Please, thank you for joining. Don't give up. Be in touch with me. I'll be speaking again real soon. Others, those who I may not be able to bring you up on board, but I'm grateful. Thank you to Queen Verna. Thank you to Max 234, I think it is, and others. For now, bye for now. You're listening to Season AY. I'll be back later on. Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye. Bye-bye. Okay, so thank you so much for those of you joining me. Only for time purposes, I need to do a few things. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to always give us a thumbs up on YouTube as you're watching. I want to say thank you to Sinovia Ridley. You said something about those colonizers would have never spoken to China nor Russia in that manner. Exactly, I agree with you. The nerve of Macron, exactly. Shuban with a thumbs up. Sinovia Ridley, I mentioned the comments to Vanna earlier, Queen Vanna. Waris Dinoto, Franco-Saxon interest on African land and water resources still control Africa's 2Gs. Exactly. So many, many, many comments like that. Thank you so much for joining me. You've been listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth about. Don't forget, help us by subscribing, hit notification button, give us a thumbs up. The notification will make sure that when I come live, you will see me. And if the more you give us a thumbs up, the more the algorithm will help spread it to reach more people. I thank you so much for joining. You've been listening to Season AY, the platform where we speak truth about. Back later on. Thank you.